making Texas brownies with Mykelti, my lovely assistant and daughter.
So excited to be here.
Pregnant with twins. Okay. They're a no-fail brownie recipe. You really can't mess this up. They're not a gooey brownie, they're a cakey brownie. And we liked them because we have a big family and we need a lot of dessert. And it makes a whole sheet pan full of brownies. They just cook perfect every single time. The recipe calls for buttermilk. Instead, we have lactose-free milk and a lemon. So you want about a tablespoon of lemon juice. But of course, fresh lemon is gonna taste better. You just squeeze it in. We're gonna do a half a lemon because we can measure with love. And it's gonna curdle really, really nicely. And that's it. We are going to melt our butter in the pan.
How much butter?
We're using a cup of butter, and it's 1 cup of water, and we just pour it right in. Even though it's not melted, it's fine, it will melt. And then the cocoa.
How much cocoa?
1/4 cup, and that just goes in as well. And now, let's put those aside. And so this needs to come to a boil. And while this is coming to a boil, we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. So go ahead and grab the 2 cups of flour.
Okay, 2 cups of flour.
Yep.
Put it into the bowl, I'm assuming.
Nice, pointing away from you so you don't get messy. I like that.
I did it so that the camera could see what I was doing. 2 cups of sugar.
That's a lot of sugar, huh?
That is a lot of sugar.
And then whisk it together. So this is a great recipe when you have a lot of kids, just because it does make a lot. But did we make it a lot? No. Do you know how many kids we had that were super young? They can't have a lot of desserts.
And sugar, because then you have pure chaos.
No. Yeah, this was a treat. This is an absolute treat. Okay, so let's crack 2 eggs into this bowl.
Is there a special thing when cracking eggs? Because I swear every time I crack an egg, I get a little bit on my fingers.
Well, you can
Isn't
wipe
there like
it
a
off.
special, but is there like a special way to make it so that doesn't happen?
I don't know, it's messy, they're eggs. Who would have thought about doing the eggs too?
Like,
Why
who decided,
would
let's take things from a chicken and let's put it into what we eat?
Who thought of separating out the eggs from the yolks to do that, right? Yep, there you go. Okay, so this is nice and boiling. So we're just gonna pour it into our bowl and go ahead and stir that together. Okay, that's good and mixed. We're gonna add our buttermilk, which is lovely now. Yeah, look at that. So it's even sticking to everything. We're gonna throw that in with our, oh, you see that? I bet I wonder if it smells like buttermilk.
Do we mix the buttermilk
Do
in the
they taste
eggs?
like buttermilk?
No, I don't want to taste that. It's got lemon and milk. That's gross.
Is it? No, I like it. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, go ahead and mix that up a little bit, and then we're gonna put that in here. And we're just gonna mix it till it's just nice and smooth. It's kind of pretty, huh?
It is kind of pretty.
I've always cooked with my kids. Even though it takes more steps, it's more messy, I've always cooked with you guys.
It's fun because like now as an adult, I can cook.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have to take a cooking class. I didn't have to come to you after I was married and ask for advice. Like I could cook.
The only time you needed me was when you didn't understand the recipes that I wrote down.
Well, that's because when you write recipes, you write for you. You don't write for English.
I know, Aspen said the same thing. So for our last step, we have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but again, I think
Measure
you
with
could-
love.
You could always add more vanilla. And Mexican vanilla, I'm sorry, that stuff smacks. It's amazing. And then it's 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Throw it all in together, and it's nice to have some liquids at the same time because that'll really mix up the baking soda well. And then we'll just mix that up too. All right, so now we're just gonna put it in the pan. So bring the pan over, and we're just going to,
Pour it in.
yeah.
And you already put pan spray on this pan.
Yes. If you don't have pan spray on it, that's not fun. Nice. All right, so we're gonna put this in the oven. The goal is to have the frosting done the same time the brownies come out of the oven, because you bring them out and while they're hot, we're gonna pour the frosting on top of it and then it all cools together.
Oh, that's smart.
Isn't that great? You don't have to wait for it to cool. Usually whenever you bake anything,
You have to wait for it to cool.
yeah, you don't have to
nice.
wait for it to cool. We have a 1/2 cup of butter and 4 cups of
Powdered sugar.
powdered sugar, or it's confectioner's sugar, and I don't know the difference, but I've only called it
They're the
powdered
same
sugar.
thing.
I thought so. 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and then a teaspoon of vanilla.
Do you need the butter to cool after it's melted, or can
No.
you do it while it's hot?
We're just gonna throw it in. And then cocoa powder.
How much cocoa powder?
Quarter cup. And then vanilla. It calls for a teaspoon of vanilla, but
But you're gonna measure with love?
We're gonna measure with love. We're gonna do a cap. And I think we should do 2 caps. I really like vanilla. And then we're just gonna stir it. And see, this is where I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna need some milk in there,
Do you have the heat on?
I think so, no. No, that would have taken a long time.
Because it was supposed to be warm.
We're gonna start with 1 tablespoon. No, we're not. We're just gonna put in 2 tablespoons and see how we feel.
Of milk?
Yeah, we've got a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of butter in there, so you know it's gonna be great. So we just let it heat up more until it's runnier, because it needs to be runnier than that. It's not done.
It's a little bit thick right now, darling.
Yeah, but we don't need to add more milk. We don't. We
No.
just need to wait for it to, I'm gonna put that over
Heat
here
up.
so we don't get impatient.
So I don't like just force it?
Yeah, just wait.
So if you are impatient though and you added more milk,
Just
no,
don't be impatient.
Just don't be impatient.
Just wait.
Okay. How's that
Okay,
consistency?
no, it's perfect. And then the brownies are done, so I'm gonna grab the brownies.
Okay.
And so they're hot right out of the oven. This until we don't let it cool. It's hot.
Just pour it on?
Yeah, pour it on. Beautiful. So it's already cooling fast, as you can see. Okay.
Thank you for giving me my own plate. I didn't really want to share a brownie with you.
I wasn't gonna share. Sharing is caring
I have
sometimes, but not with brownies.
Yeah, I've got 2 kids inside my womb. I need all of the brownie I can get to
Oh.
feed them. We didn't cheers. That was rude. I'm definitely gonna make this at home. I'll make this for Avalon. I'll make this for the twins.
When you have company over,
Oh, this would be brilliant for like game nights with company.
yes.
Because there's
yes.
tons of it.
There's tons. Yep.
You could even just like eat it right out of the pan, just like that. No need for the plate. I don't even know why we have plates.